Hey, what's up? It's Tati. Look, I am so upset about what's going on nowadays with pro wrestling, and one of that definitely being the fans. Now, I'm a woman who come on YouTube and talk about pro wrestling, and to be honest, I kind of find that a little intimidating because I am part of the minority here because um, it's mostly men in this scene. 100% of my audience are men. I don't know of any girl who's watching me. If you are, let me know. But I still find it a little intimidating, especially because there's a lot of immaturity amongst uh, fans, right? So let's get into the topic. We have Dax Harwood, who has had his podcast for a few months now, not too long. However, the other day he announced that he's no longer going to be having any more episodes because he created this podcast to be something positive for pro wrestling. However, it has spewed into some negativity. And what negativity are we talking about? So, people were in his podcast. People listening had messaged him and had some comments about him threatening his family, talking about he should die, also calling his 9-year-old daughter a little whore. All these horrible things that they were saying to him that made him come on his last episode and apologize to anyone who listens. And for whatever reason, to be honest, he shouldn't have had to apologize for anything because he was the one who was getting threats. Now he comes on and apologizes or whatever, and now you guys are wondering what was said. I'll tell you what was said. He was pitching ideas for the AEW All In pay-per-view that's going to be in London in August. His pitch was the Elite versus FTR and CM Punk. Now, before I even heard Dax say this, I've already heard people saying that they would like to see that match up, not just the match, but a feud leading up to that, then playing off what happened at the pay-per-view last year, since Punk has been gone, and turning that into a storyline. Matter of fact, some people still, till this day, say it's a work. I have no idea. Doesn't really matter. I do think that Tony Khan should have taken that story and put it in the show. You know, it will definitely bring some people in. But either way, that's what he said. And he got that type of response where people were threatening him, threatening his family, saying he should die and talking about his daughter and stuff like that. So now he doesn't want to do the show anymore. That is just absolutely insane that people who are sitting at home or wherever the hell they are with nothing better to do, threatening people because, what, you don't like CM Punk? You don't like FTR? You don't want anyone saying anything against the Elite or whoever it is that you like? That is insane that people would feel like they're so entitled to threaten people. So now, he's no longer doing the show. And it sucks that it had came to that. He wasn't even really doing it that long, just for a few months. And so now that's gone. However, we still have idiots on the internet who are threatening people over nonsense. It's fucking TV. It's just wrestling. You mean to tell me that you're so pro Elite that you don't want anyone saying anything that's what against them or whatever? That is just so, I just cannot wrap that around my head as to why someone would result into doing that. But let me just say this. What I think is another problem here is Tony Khan. Tony Khan came up with this All Elite wrestling thing. Now, he didn't do it alone or whatnot. He did have assistance of people who already are in the business, mainly wrestlers. So now you have people who are wrestlers who are taking executive producer roles. And to be honest, that just fell flat in his face. Like, I don't care if they're doing positive things for the business. It still has fallen flat on his face at this point. Because now, these wrestlers who are supposed to be performers on the show are what? In charge of coming up with ideas. They're the ones who are booking themselves to be in an advantage in their career for holding gold and winning matches and stuff. How insane is that? If I was a promoter, no way in hell am I going to allow a pro wrestler, a active pro wrestler, to have any type of executive roles in my company. Because in this business, it's all about ego, especially with a whole bunch of men and everybody's fighting for what, a title, to have the best careers, to have you know, a really storybook telling career where you have all these championships and wins and all this stuff under your belt. These guys get to now dictate how their own careers get to be because they have these executive roles. And now it's like, whoa, you gave your wrestlers too much power. And that obviously is a problem. Okay, so now we have CM Punk, who had that interview after the pay-per-view, and he was being unprofessional. Absolutely. However, I still agree with everything that he said. He didn't tell no lies about what he said. It's just how he did it was inappropriate. Then came a physical altercation after the show, after that interview, and now, right after that, everybody was suspended or whatever, and stripped of titles. Whoever had titles, that were stripped of them or whatnot. And I agree with Tony Khan going that route. But now they come back and they still have those executive producer roles in the company. And now they feel like, well, I'm, one of the top guys here. I say so. I say whatever goes. So now CM Punk, who draws more attention than the Bucks, what, he can't be part of the company because y'all don't like him? How many of us go to work every day working with idiots that we don't want to work with, but their contribution to the job is just as equal as yours? Maybe even they probably do a better job than you do, but you just don't like them. So now what? You gonna quit your job because so-and-so that you work with you don't like? That's absolutely insane. Now imagine you working part of an entertainment company, a wrestling company, where you have a group of people that are supposed to help the company in some way, especially AEW being the alternative to WWE, and having such a good thing, being in a position that other promotions never even got a chance to get up to, and y'all fucking it up because what, y'all don't like so-and-so said something, so what? There's a whole bunch of fucking big egos back there. Tony Khan needs to, after that whole Elite versus BCC thing go down, whenever that's over, put everybody in the locker room, and whoever's having beef with whoever, you gonna squash it today or get the fuck out. I'll buy the rest of your contract or whatever and pay you, but you gotta go. That's what it should be, because at this point, it shouldn't be so much negativity with something that's supposed to be a positive thing in pro wrestling. You know how long I've waited for something else to come along aside from WWE, because I was just so bored with it. A lot of people was bored with it. Then we got AEW, and they're not perfect. No, they're not. But with all this shit going on backstage that is just overshadowing what's happening on camera, insane. I cannot believe that it even got to this. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Elite is responsible for what these losers had said to Dax, but once the Elite knows about what had been said, if it was me, I would have come on social media and said, hey, regardless of who we don't like, who we like, nobody should be messaging any of our fans, any of our co-workers, threatening them in any type of way on behalf of the Elite, because we're not about that. So if you guys are not about violence, if you guys don't want hostility in the workplace, come on social media and tell these idiots to fuck off. That they shouldn't be contacting anybody and threatening anybody. I'm not saying that's their responsibility, but that's what I would have done. Because it doesn't make any sense. I really would like AEW to be successful. I would like any promotion to be successful. But I have never in my life heard so much negativity going on behind the scenes. And it's like, what the hell? Tony's biggest thing is, aside from being an inexperienced booker, his biggest problem is having other wrestlers calling the shots back there. Hell to the no. I would have never allowed that. I would have been like, hey, I'm going to assign you to be a wrestler. You're welcome to provide me with any expertise. But there's no executive roles over here once it comes to pro wrestlers in my company. Put your fucking foot down, Tony. Grow a fucking backbone and let these people know who's running the shit up in here. And it's probably already too far gone to even have that conversation because, like I said, people were having these executive roles that are already going to feel like they're on top. That's insane. I feel like that's one of his biggest mistakes that he's made in the business. I'm not blaming Tony for what's going on with Dax, but that does play a part into it because now people just feel like, you know, oh, the elites, they're EVPs, oh, they're part of the reason why AEW is successful and all that stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna pay no money to see the Bucks. You put CM Punk out there, I'll pay money to see him. And even if you don't like CM Punk, admit the fact that he'll help sell out crowds. He's the one who'll help get some of these ratings past 1 million viewers. AEW can use that. If AEW would just, have CM Punk come back, have him do like sensitivity training or whatever the fuck it is so that he can continue to work with AEW, sure. If he comes and turns a new leaf and everyone else is still turning their backs on him and acting some type of way, then they're just not the bigger person. But CM Punk does equal money, does equal viewership. Absolutely. Y'all announce CM Punk to be on next week, whatever the hell they're going to be on next week. Oh, yeah, they're going to be in Florida next week. You guys announce that he's going to be on next week right now. That whole arena going to sell out. I bet you that. I bet you they'll hit 1 million viewers. Bet you that. But if you were to say the elite next week, y'all gonna get the same old shit. So rather than recognizing how maybe somebody who's not so someone like CM Punk who might not be as professional as he should be, he still will do something to benefit the business at the same time. Y'all just gonna have to deal with any type of training to make him more business friendly or whatever stipulations y'all got to put on his contract so that he can be a better co-worker, then do that. But people hate him that much though that y'all would start threatening other people who are friends with him. That's absolutely insane, uncalled for, and it just makes it seem like, who the fuck wants to be a wrestling fan? Who wants to be around other wrestling fans who go around thinking like that? I'm just so disappointed that I even had to come to that, where this man is apologizing for some stupid shit, for being threatened, for people talking shit about his daughter and all that stuff. Why did it have to come to that point? Because he said he have a dream match that would definitely put some asses in that damn stadium, that 90,000 seat stadium. It's insane that people just, because you don't agree, you're threatening people. I'm just at a loss for words. None of that shit should have ever happened. I don't know. Tony, whatever's going on back there, fix it. It's just too much negativity spewing around AEW. And then, as much as I really do enjoy AEW, I could totally understand why people are not wanting to watch, or why people don't want to get into it, because all you hear about is all the negative stuff that's happening over there that's overshadowing the positive things that are going on over there. It's just absolutely insane. Guys, thanks so much for watching. And you know what? If you disagree with people, even if you disagree with what I'm saying today, I don't mind hearing your opinions. However, there's a respectful way to voice your opinions without fucking threatening people's lives. Absolutely insane.